Hello, my name is Ben Trump, and this is just my physical assessment video for Nursing 321. You can see my patient in the background. It's actually my wife, Kristen. And as I would come to approach the patient, I'm going to be doing the assessment on the respiratory, cardiac, heart sounds, and then also with the facial ENT assessment today. So as I would come to assess my patient, I would introduce myself. Hi, my name is Ben. Just going to sit down beside you, and as I was walking up to her and checking her out, I was just inspecting her for her respiratory status. She has equal rise and fall of the chest. She does not appear in any acute respiratory distress. She doesn't look as if she would have any symptoms which would be worrisome from a cardiac standpoint, that she has dry skin, she's not diaphoretic, and she looks comfortable right now. So I'm just going to move on to listening to the heart sounds. And I have the diaphragm of the stethoscope here, so I'm just going to go to the second intercostal space, right sternal border. Second intercostal space, left sternal border. And listening for the aortic and pulmonic valves there, where S2 would be heard the loudest. Coming down to the third intercostal space, left sternal border would be Erb's point. Fourth intercostal space, left sternal border. And that would be the tricuspid valve. And then the fifth intercostal space, midaxillary line, I'm going to just come up under her breast a bit here and try to listen for it. And I'm going to slide off a little bit more, and I can hear it better over this way, and some of that is just because of the pregnant state and not everything that the baby is pushing upwards and displacing the heart laterally. I'm going to switch my stethoscope to the bell and listen. Again, fifth intercostal space, midaxillary line, hers is a little bit shifted just because of the pregnant state. Coming back to the fourth intercostal space, left sternal border. And again, the fourth and fifth intercostal spaces that I just mentioned about, we would be listening for the, in order, mitral and tricuspid valve closures. And that's where S1 would be heard the loudest. And then since she's sitting upright, I'm just going to listen to her lungs and take a deep breath. And this is just a bronchial airspace as I'm listening to. Equal, nice and clear, moving down a little bit more. This would be where the lungs branch off to each right and left tree. And they're nice and clear. And bronchovesicular again, and then towards the outside, which would be the bases of the heart towards the bottom. Listening for the vesicular. And listening to the two different areas on the right, just because of the third lobe on the right heart, right lung rather. Okay. Since I have her still facing forward, I'm just inspecting the head, and then we'll move our way down. So she has symmetry in the face. If I would ask her to smile, she has good symmetry with her facial expression. And you can puff your cheeks out, and can you stick your tongue out and then move it side to side. And she has good tongue mobility. And just checking her oral mucosa, if you could say ah.
Ah.
And she does not have any redness, exudate, or white patches on the tongue, so that looks nice and healthy. Neat enclosure. And having her move the neck side to side, if you could move your head all the way to the right and the left, and then back to center and up and down. And any pain when you do that? Yep. Okay, good. And then just checking through palpation, so I'm just going to feel her sinuses, and maxillary sinuses on either side of the nose feels good. Since I'm in that area, I'm going to have her test for nasal patency, blow out. And the same on this side. And that's clear, and she has got good airflow through both of those. And then the frontal sinuses would be up here. Any pain with that?
No.
Okay. And then since I'm with my hands on, I'm just going to come down her cervical area and feeling for any lymph nodes or bumps. I don't feel any there. So again, on the side cervical, just above the clavicles would be the supraclavicular lymph nodes. Coming down through the jawline. Can you open and close? Open and close. And she does have a little bit of grinding, it feels like. Open and close. You have pain with that?
No.
Okay. She's got good range of motion of her mouth, though, coming underneath submandibular lymph node, and then right at the top underneath the chin would be the submental lymph node. Okay. And she's blinking equally. She has no facial droop or ptosis on either eye. Her ears are symmetrical, and since I'm in the neck area, I'm just going to also quickly listen to her neck, to her carotid. So first I will palpate. She has good pulses on both sides. And then I'm listening with the bell of the diaphragm to the carotids. And can you hold your breath for a short second? And you can breathe. And we'll do the other side. And on both carotids, I do not hear any bruits, and that would be significant if I would hear a bruit of any stenosis in the carotids. All right. And I will just have you lay down on your left side if you could. And then we'll just quickly listen with her laying that way, because we want to try to get the heart to the left side as much as possible to the fifth intercostal space, mid-clavicular line. Again, slightly displaced just because of her pregnant state. And that fifth intercostal space, mid-clavicular line, would be the point of maximal impulse. As I'm listening, I do not hear any extracurricular heart sounds, such as a rub or S3. And then if I would go to palpate that, if I had the patient undressed, I could feel the PMI. And actually right where my fingertips there, I can slightly feel it. Could feel better if she didn't have the clothes on. All right, I'll help you sit up. And then I'm going to have you turn around and we'll assess your back as we listen to your lungs. Okay. So again, just looking, she's symmetrical on the back. Again, no respiratory distress as she's breathing. She's got equal rise and fall of her chest. Can you also just shrug your shoulders for me? And she has good motor strength through that. And then if I could have you take a deep breath. Deep breath. She has good clear lung sounds throughout, with no adventitious lung sounds such as wheezes, rails, crackles. And then I'm just going to palpate her for tactile premises. I could have you say 99.
99.
And again.
99. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99.
Okay, that's good. And checking with that, I can feel vibrations equally on both sides. If I would feel a vibration increased one side or the other, that might be a little bit more significant for some fluid buildup or a consolidation of some sort. If it would be diminished on one side as compared to the other, or in a different area, it could be indicative of some air in that space as well. Okay. And then we're just going to percuss, and same thing with my finger here. I'm just going to tap. And I do not hear any dullness, which would be possible for another area consolidation as well. So that sounds nice and good and slightly resonant or hollow sounding. So again, all because of the air in the passages. Last thing that I would like to check for would just be our egophony. So back to my stethoscope, and as I'm listening, if you could say E,
E, E,
and I'm listening on both sides.
E, 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 E,
And she has
E,
equalness on both sides, and I'm actually hearing the letter E as she says it, which is expected or a normal finding. If it would sound more A, again, as we had talked about consolidations or whatnot, I would have that type of sound as an A if there would be a consolidation. I believe that's it for this physical exam showing. Thank you, Kristen,
you're welcome.
and thank you, nursing.